Hello boys and girls, and we're back to our socket server. So let's continue with, meanwhile, um, behind the scenes I blacked my server Pi, which currently fixed all my single and double quoting. So the next step in the last series, we saw that we can successfully accept arguments to our app, and we can read the configuration from the JSON file. Now, what we're gonna do is actually create the socket server and add some color to the print. Now, we should try to open the server until we try to do it, until until it is opened and system returns a successful message. We have no idea if it will work or not. So that's why I like to wrap it in a try except without a specific exception, just because very generic, not great practice. Anyway, for the purpose of our application, it really doesn't matter if we'll have why we failed for our current application. If we failed by any reason, we should print a message, which would be something like bad config or file name. No, it will be some sort of we cannot read the configuration or some other shit happened, like bad config or unavailable resource, maybe. And the prompt should continue on a new line, always a good practice. Now we start in a context of socket server and TCP server, as we mentioned, and we like the TCP server to listen to some configuration, and the configuration would consist of a host and a port, and we'll have config get host and config get port. Now, when we have the host and the port, we will specify the server here. This is the server class we just created. This one here with the handle. We specify the server class. Too many brackets. Host, port, close this, close that as a server. So what we would like to do is serve forever. A server. Here is very interesting. However, we'll just use serve forever for the moment. Like when we open it, it will always bind and listen. It's a blocking operation. Now, I would like to add some color. Would be using a package I like to use it on all my command application. This is the Colorama. So let's import the foreground, the background, and the styling from Colorama. We don't have it installed yet, but I'll install it later on. Oh, I have it already. So for back and style. Okay. By the way, I didn't didn't know it was built in. Anyways, post button use, that's fine. Now let's add some color to it. Let's say missing config is let's say some scary information that should be presented in red. That's good to use f strings, so I will call it for red, and it will present missing config in red. Then I will reset the styles with style and reset, because everything else that is printed after missing config will have it will be in red. The text will be in red, so that's not very cool. That's why we need to reset it. Of course, make a new line, and our next statement is this one. I'll make it red as well. For red back config on available resource, and before the new line we just say style reset all. Let's test it for is used. Anyways, let's don't specify config. Oh, we don't have it. Okay. Pick install colorama. I will grab my pip version. Anyways. Okay. Now we have colorama. I think I have it from other projects. Anyways, it's in my tags. But let's test again. Let's check the errors. So for red, for this, for that, for red, it's in a f string. Okay, it's because it's in a single print command. It's not an actual f string, so it does not understand. That's easy fixable. Here we go. And see, everything else is back in the same configuration. Now, assumingly we already have that socket, the next thing, we have a simple socket that should be able to print the information. Let's start with building the client, shall we? Actually, let's see if it binds. We didn't test that. Where is the config? Okay. Bad config or invalid resource. It's good always to test your code. So it's not working by some reason. Let's see why. So we have already loaded that. Let's meanwhile print the config. So config get host. Print the config. Maybe we don't have it. Who knows? No, we have it. Maybe the port is not available. So let's change the port. It's not very likely. Okay, let's debug that. So serve forever, TCP server config, get me the host in a tuple. The port is closed, and I specify the server. We have the server here. which is working. We have a handle method. Okay, that should be fine. Socket server, TCP server, config get is a server, and in the context manager, serve forever. Let's print the actual exception because we're masking it. Let's first print the exception. Okay, cool. We will specify an integer because it casts it. It does not cast it. You have it directly. Here we go. That's nice. So I will remove this. I will remove the exception. And we ensure that this is working. Okay, so now let's go to the client.